What is up, friends? My name is Laura. If you've never visited my YouTube channel before, welcome. Today I'm going to be continuing my series about virtual jobs that you can do right from the comfort of your very own home, and exactly what I do to be able to do that. I've been doing this for over 6 years. The last couple of weeks I've been sharing some great tips on high-paying jobs from home, and all of course are very legitimate. So I'll make sure to link those below and let me know if there's any that you would specifically like me to do in the future. Today I'm going to be sharing 5 of my best tips on how you can nail a virtual interview. Of course, a virtual interview can just be a phone call, it can be a video interview on Skype or Zoom. There's so many different ways. So regardless of which way it is, I always recommend these 5. So keep watching to find out exactly what they are. So the first one is to dress the part. I know it kind of can seem like, oh, I don't want to get ready, I don't want to put on makeup, or I don't want to make my hair look nice or anything like that when you're going into a virtual interview, especially if it's over the phone. But the thing is you want your brain to know that you're still in a professional environment, even if you were, doing it from your kitchen table or anything like that. So make sure that you still dress the part, especially if it's a video interview. So that means putting on kind of just some natural makeup, don't overdo it. Have on a full attire that you normally would go to a real interview in. Do your hair, just make yourself look as nice as possible. Even put on shoes and put on maybe a nice little heel that you would normally have worn if you're going to that interview. If you were doing a virtual interview and you were still in your pajamas with your head, or your hair completely not done or anything like that, don't you think you personally are taking yourself more seriously if you are in a pantsuit or anything like that, depending on what the job is that you're applying for? And that's one of the reasons it just gives you more confidence and it makes you feel more professional in that situation. The last part of that first tip is you also still want the bottom half to be professional. A lot of people think, well, waist up, I'll do it nice and professional, and that's great, but then either I'll wear shorts or I'll wear some sort of pajama pants or anything like that on the bottom. First of all, you never know if you actually have to get up quickly. And I've actually had this happen to me right at the very beginning. And it wasn't during an interview, it was just during a client call. I looked nice on the top and I think I was wearing shorts on the bottom. And the call just went way longer than I was expecting. So I ended up having to get up to go grab my charger. And I just had no idea how to get up and out of the call without them seeing my bottom half. And I think that I still did okay. But in that situation, if I just even had jeans on in the bottom or anything like that, it would have caused me a lot less stress that day. So make sure from head to toe, you're completely businessy. The second tip that I have is make sure your Wi-Fi is perfect. Most jobs that you're doing from home need perfect Wi-Fi. And the last thing that you want to do is show that your Wi-Fi is not reliable. So make sure you do some Wi-Fi tests before starting. You also can just make sure that maybe no one else in your house is on the Wi-Fi at that time, just to make sure it's going as fast as possible. If you've been having some connection issues, I would honestly recommend going to just like a Starbucks or some sort of coffee shop just to ensure you're getting perfect Wi-Fi. I would, around 10 to 15 minutes before your actual interview, run some tests and make sure that it's going to be perfect. Doing it the day before, yeah, that's great, but you never know how that Wi-Fi is going to be on that actual day. So make sure that you have perfect Wi-Fi. If it's not, like I said, go somewhere else, go to a family or a friend's house, go to a business that has reliable Wi-Fi, and just make sure that that's great Wi-Fi. Even if the job had nothing to do with Wi-Fi, just showing that you're able to, have great Wi-Fi, and you're just it just makes you look more trustworthy and gives a better first impression on that virtual interview. The third tip is looking at your lighting. So I'm gonna give an example here. Is I have a ring light when I'm taping these videos, and I actually really recommend one. When I'm working with my clients in social media, I always, if I'm having to do a live for them, I always use this now. And it's probably been the best $18 I've ever spent. I got it off Amazon about a year ago, and I'll link it below for you if you're interested. But I will give you a quick example here. So you can see that's just from a quick ring light here, and it's just in the background behind my camera. And you can see my face just goes a lot darker. And then I'm gonna turn it back on. So you can see It brightened instantly. So there's a lot of, big ones, there's great ones that are a couple $100s, but just for something like doing a good quick interview, I highly recommend grabbing one just there off Amazon. The other thing is background light. If you guys know anything about kind of going on camera, you don't want all of the light coming from behind you. It kind of can distract in the lens, and also it just doesn't make you look as appealing. So try to get something like kind of a plain-ish background and having either your curtains closed or just having more light coming from in front of you, just to make sure you look the best and it just makes you look the most professional you can be. Probably my number one suggestion, and this is going to be the fourth recommendations for a virtual interview, is make sure you have no distractions. It just, once again, makes you look more professional, but it kind of can help answer the question the best you possibly can. So for example, if you were the interviewer and you're asking me a question and I had my phone going off on a phone call, I'm just gonna get distracted and probably not answer that question the best I possibly could. So make sure your phone is on silent, any notifications on your computer are on silent, just nothing can be distracting. And I'm not only talking about electronics. If you have children, make sure that they're kind of taken care of and not going to be bothering you during the interview. Of course, most people are still understanding when you're working from home, maybe you will have those distractions, but just to make sure the interview is going as smoothly as possible and you're able to give them their absolute undivided attention and answer the questions the best you possibly can do, make sure that all of those distractions possible are gone. As well as distractions, make sure that everything's closed on your computer. I actually have had a situation, and I was helping with like some virtual interviews for a client, and she wanted me then to screen share, and then the girl didn't know how to, so then I just said, oh, do you want to screen share with me then? And then I can walk you through the process. And when she screen shared, she actually had some very inappropriate photos come up. So I can't imagine how horrifying that was for her. But just make sure there's just absolutely no distractions. Everything's down in case you possibly need to screen share with the person. Just every single thing is clear out of your mind for this interview. Just prior to actually going on the call, I always make sure to pull up the job listing or the contract position and actually read it thoroughly right before. And this will help me know exactly what they're looking for, remind me of the exact job. Maybe I applied for 5 jobs in the same day, and I kind of forget which one this one was specifically. Was this more blogging or was this more social media? You want to come prepared to know what you kind of want to be selling about yourself. So for example, if it's saying up to 10 hours a week, but you didn't know that going in, and they're asking how much wiggle room you have in your schedule or how much you're looking for, maybe you're going to say, I'm looking for around 10 hours a week, just kind of to prepare yourself, because that's going to make you look not only like you did read the job description, but also just make you look like that's a perfect fit for you guys. It's important never to memorize your answers, but at the same time, kind of going over some good answers that probably will be some of the questions, like what kind of experience do you have in this? What are your future plans? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Those will all help you in going over them before the actual interview. Again, seeing what those job descriptions are. Maybe it's saying looking for long-term partnership. Then you're knowing, if that's what you actually are looking for too, making sure to actually emphasize that on the virtual interview and say, I am looking for a long-term partnership with a contract. I'm not looking for this to be a month or two. I really want long-term work with clients that I can trust. And that's just going to make sure that you guys are on the same page. Again, if you had not read that job description, you might not have said that. I hope that you did find this video helpful in learning 5 different ways that you can nail down a virtual interview. Make sure you comment below and let me know any other videos that you'd like to see in this series, or if you've ever done a virtual interview, or I would love to hear some, horror stories. Those are always fun, kind of like mine. So I hope you did like this. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys, and I will see you next time. Keep living life. Bye.